Yes, I'm having an MS Paint stream. I am not a good artist, so I'm just gonna put it in the middle here. This right here is going to be Kakariko Village. So KK Village, okay? Now, normally for Kakariko Village, you have like an exit here. You have an exit. You have an exit here, which is to the graveyard, and you have an exit here, which goes out to Hyrule Field, right? So here, this exit, the graveyard exit, went to Hyrule Field, right? So this went to Hyrule Field. Down here, this exit went to Gerudo Fortress. So, the good old GF city. So you can already see Kakariko Village is like the centerpiece of where everything in this game just messed up. And also, I don't know why you can't see the video of it, but it is the active window, so I don't know what's going on with the scene. Sorry. So we've got Kakariko Village, we've got Gerudo Fortress, we've got Hyrule Field. Now, this Gerudo Fortress, there's only one like actual exit to the Gerudo Fortress. And it's on the opposite side of this exit. So, you've got the exit here, which leads to the desert. You've got the exit here, which leads to Gerudo Valley. Well, this leads you to the Temple of Light. The Temple of Time, Temple of Light, whatever they call it in this game, I forget. I think it's the Temple of Time. Either way. So, it leads you there. Now, the Temple of Time only has the one exit, so you can't go anywhere. You just go straight to Gerudo Fortress. So in order to get to Hyrule Field from the Temple of Time, you have to go through the Gerudo Fortress, through Kakariko Village, to the Hyrule Field. Right? So we're already missing the main Hyrule Field here. We're already missing the graveyard. I'm just going to do Hyrule Field as its own big box here, because Hyrule Field has its own big, system that it has. Like, you've got up here, you've got, the Hyrule Castle Town. Over here, you've got the Gerudo Valley. Down here, you've got, Lake Hylia. Over here, you've got the Kokiri Forest. Here, you've got the Zora River. And here, you have Kakariko Village. So we're gonna call this one Hyrule Field Big. And then obviously here in the middle-ish, you have Lon Lon Ranch. And Lon Lon Ranch is important, because Lon Lon Ranch here leads to the Kokiri Forest. Over here, the Gerudo Fortress, Gerudo Valley, leads to Lost Woods. It leads to the Lost Woods. So far, you guys following me how messed up Hyrule became because of this randomizer so far? And I haven't even gotten to this right here. I haven't even gotten to that yet. So we have Hyrule Field, Kokiri Village. Kokiri Village was the start, right? This right here is where I started. This was start. Okay. So we have Kokiri Village as the start. Now I'm gonna go ahead. So yeah, big, and get rid of the salt. Get rid of the salt. No more salt. No more salted sardines. So as you see, we have Hyrule Field, Kokiri Village. Did I pull up the notes? I don't know if I did. Okay, cool. So these were my notes that I took. Like I stopped taking after a while because they weren't like important places, but these were my notes that I took. But yeah, so we have Kokiri Village, and the graveyard entrance takes you to the Hyrule Field. Death Mountain. Yes, yes, yes. So this right here, this entrance to Kokiri Village, took you to the Hyrule Castle Town entrance. And by that, I mean the Hyrule Field entrance. So basically, if you go into the the Hyrule Castle Town, actually, I don't think you guys can hear that music, can you? So here we've got, if you were to go out to Hyrule Field and enter Hyrule Castle Town through the big drawbridge, this right here, Hyrule Castle Town, if you were to try and go into Hyrule Castle Town from Hyrule Field, so this right here, this leads you once again to Kakariko Village, right? KKV, Kakariko Village. Okay, so these 2 points are connected. There, these 2 points are connected, right? No, because here, if you go to Kokiri Village entrance, this takes you to the Zora River. Right? So this takes you to the Zora River. Which, great. If you leave Hyrule Field here, it takes, or from the Castle Town, or not Castle Town, Kakariko Village, the Kokiri Forest entrance here takes you to Kakariko Village. A K V. I said V. Okay? So that means, where does this take you, right? Where does this take you? If we go to the Zora River entrance, so we're just trying to go to the Zora River, right? This takes you to Hyrule Castle Town Market. Okay? So basically, we've got the Lost Woods, which should be over here. We've got the Zora River, which should be down here. We've got the Hyrule Castle Town Market, which should be over here. And then we've got Kokiri Village, which should be up here. And we still have Lake Hylia. So if we go to the Lake Hylia entrance, if we go here, right, we get the Kokiri Forest main entrance. So basically, if you were to go into the Kokiri Forest over here, you would actually enter the Kokiri Forest here. So as you can see, we have 2 Kokiri Forest entrances right here, 2 Kakariko Village entrances on this map. This right here, in particular, takes you to the Lost Woods entrance. So basically, you walk out of the Lost Woods when you enter Lon Lon Ranch. This is where my randomizer insanity was coming from. Now, all of that in mind, what happens if we go to, like, say, Lake Hylia? So let's pretend that we actually have gotten to Lake Hylia, right? So we are at good old, wonderful Lake Hylia, home of the Water Temple. So I'm not gonna show everything, but we're going to cover the fishing pond here. We're going to cover the main entrance here. We're going to cover the Zora Domain entrance here. And we are going to cover the Water Temple entrance here. So, if you were to leave, going from the actual Lake Hylia entrance, you would find yourself in the the Lost Woods Sacred Grove. You know, where the the forest temple is located. You would find yourself there. If you were to go into the fishing spot, the fishing spot leads to Mido's house. So, just a random Kokiri village, or Kokiri forest house. You know, KF house. So, like, these are two important areas that are kind of already just, like, blocked off by randomizers. If you find yourself in Lake Hylia as a kid, and you don't have the ability to swim here, you're kind of stuck. Except for they give you a nice little friendly owl right here that can fly you out to Hyrule Castletown, which is nice. It makes it a little bit more manageable. But let's say I want to go to this water temple here. The water temple actually took you to the Shadow Temple, which again should be here in Kakariko Village, right? This should be here because it's connected to the graveyard, which the graveyard we still haven't found yet. We still haven't found the graveyard. So if we look at the Lake Hylia, like, underwater entrance, if we are to leave Death Mountain through the crater entrance at the top, that's where we get if we swim underwater to go to the Zora Domain. So right now, the Hyrule is just a mess. It is an absolute mess. And my sanity was screaming at me the entire time I was doing this because I'm sitting here trying to figure out where everything is. So, the Gerudo Fortress is, again, really simple because the Gerudo Fortress just takes you to the Temple of Time. So it's got its own thing here. Now, the Gerudo Valley, if I have that up here. So, like, you've got, like, let's say, just, like, here, I'm just gonna go ahead and stretch this. This line represents the river, because the river runs through Gerudo Valley. And then you've got entrance 1 down here, you've got entrance down here, and then you've got entrance here, which really leads out here. Wow. Now, these connect like normal. The Zora River feeds into the river that goes into Lake Hylia. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly normal. However, this Gerudo Fortress exit here, so here, this led to the graveyard. Now, I might be off on that because I apparently didn't deem the graveyard important enough to take a note of. So, you know, great, but not really. Because as adult Link, I could teleport to the graveyard and then I'd be stuck because the bridge was out until I found everybody else. Here, down here, this entrance here, this right here, led to Hyrule Castletown Market. So, if I was to try to go to the Temple of Time, or the Temple of Light, whatever it's called, I always forget, through the Hyrule Castletown Market, it took me to the Gerudo Valley. Which... this doesn't look too bad. I mean, here's the thing. No, it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad right now, right? But this is after blindly running around trying to find everything. So it doesn't help. Now, the really fun thing is if we go into Goron City. So let me go ahead and get Goron City up here. Now we have Goron City. So Goron City. Now downstairs here you have Darunia's room, which has an exit out. Upstairs you have, you know, around here you have the exit to the Kokiri Forest. And you have the main entrance here. Now, if I were to leave the main entrance of Goron City, this would take me to the Zora Fountain, otherwise known as Jabu Jabu's area. So, where that giant fish is that swallows you whole, you get there from Goron City. This right here, this Kokiri Forest exit, the Lost Woods exit. Lost Woods exit technically takes you to the Lost Woods. Believe it or not, it actually takes you to the Lost Woods. However, this Lost Woods exit right here, this just takes you to the Lost Wood Bridge. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it with Lostwood BR. So this is the bridge that you cross when you normally leave Kokiri Forest for the first time as young Link. It's right there at the entrance. It's that very short bridge where you meet Saria, and Saria gives you the fairy ocarina. That's where this takes you. Which this will take you to somewhere else. So it's great. It's great so far, right? And then this right here, this exit here takes you to the Hyrule Castletown in-between area. So a Hyrule Castletown entrance. So you know the place that has all the pots you can break, like like you go across the drawbridge, that little in-between area where you have the room on the right that allows you to go in and just break all the pots and get a lot of money. That's where that takes you. So far, we have this, which we haven't actually drawn that connection yet, right? But we've got this Hyrule Castletown entrance here. And then we've got, goes right into Goron City. So this takes you into Darunia's room. It doesn't matter if you're an adult or a kid, you pop out on the other side of the statue. So if you're a kid and you can't physically pull that statue out from the wall, well, guess what? You're stuck. You've got the Lost Woods Bridge, and then you've got the Zoran Fountain. Now, the Zoran Fountain, you can't actually go anywhere with. It takes you to the Gerudo Training Grounds or Jabu Jabu. So two places that don't have an actual other entrance that you can go to. There's also a Great Fairy Fountain there, which takes you to a random house in this one. So again, no real exits. The Lost Wood Bridge takes you someplace. However, the Lost Wood Bridge takes you to what we like to call Hell, otherwise known as the Death Mountain Crater. DMC, Devil May Cry, Death Mountain Crater. Let's go. Where the Death Mountain Crater, you have an exit here, which normally takes you to the Fire Temple. You have an exit here, which takes you to Goron City. Well, not Goron City. Normally, this does not take you to the Goron City. But in this one, it takes you to the Lost Woods Bridge. Which, again, if I just make this connection here, whop, there we go. That's where that leads me. Then we've got here, which I believe is normally a Great Fairy Fountain. And then we've got the main entrance, which is up here, which this, thankfully, this takes us to, and I'm just gonna draw the little squiggly line up to it. So wop wop wop. that takes us there. Right? That takes us there. So, so far so good. Now, if I leave Death Mountain Crater as an adult, I can't get back to Death Mountain Crater without going through all the steps to get to Goron City to get to Death Mountain Crater. This, however, instead of taking you to the Fire Temple, this took you inside the good old, wonderful, great Deku Tree. So, we had the Great Deku Tree inside a volcano. This ancient, old-ass tree just chilling inside a very active volcano, right? So, no big deal. No big deal whatsoever. Now, Jabu Jabu actually led to Jabu Jabu. So how do you like my Hyrule so far? Because we're not actually done yet, because I haven't shown you how we get to Zora's Domain. I haven't shown you guys anything related to the Zoras really yet. So speaking of, again, the Zoras, we have... So we're just going to start off in Zora's Domain, right? This is all very confusing to you, but interesting, yes. So in Zora's Domain, we have, again, 3 entrances. We have the main entrance around here. We have the underwater entrance around here. And then we have the entrance to the Zora Fountain around here, right? So, if we go out this entrance here, this main entrance, this leads us to a wonderful, wonderful place known as Lon Lon Ranch. So, we go to Lon Lon Ranch. Now, Lon Lon Ranch is right here. Zora's Domain is, like, this section right here in the middle, that is Lon Lon Ranch. Zora's Domain is supposed to be over here, and more like over here. So, so far, we've just completely fucked the ecosystem here. Now, if I leave through the Zora Fountain exit here, or otherwise where I would go to Jabu Jabu, we get to the Zora River. Okay, so we have the Zora River right here. Which means that in order to get into the Zoran Domain, we still go to the Zora River. We just appear in the wrong place. So if I wanted to go to Jabu Jabu's area, first playthrough, I would leave through behind where the king is sitting. And that's where I would normally expect to find Jabu Jabu, because there's a giant fountain out there and Jabu Jabu is just chilling out there. When I leave in this one, I jump through a waterfall. And I'm suddenly in the Zora River area. And then we've got the good old underwater thing here, which, so this right here leads to Hyrule Castletown. This one right here, this small little box right here, this little underwater entrance leads to Hyrule Castletown. So basically, when I left Hyrule Castletown Market, until I could actually dive deep enough, I could not go back to Hyrule Castletown Market because the entrance was underwater and the default dive is not deep enough to go to Hyrule Castletown. So basically you were stuck there. Now, again, I could go up here along the Zora River, right? However, as a kid, if I did not have Ruto's letter, which I think I found that pretty early. Why am I making a map? Because I am explaining the craziness that was this randomizer, Good Witch. I am explaining the craziness that is this randomizer. I'm done. I beat Ganon. I beat him. I beat it. I was victorious. I beat him like 37 minutes ago. It's fine. But if I did not have Ruto's letter, because I found that pretty early on, I was stuck here. I was stuck here. No, I did not use the big Gorons. So yes, you got here. Like, if I did not find Ruto's letter, I would have been stuck right here, just immediately. So if I hadn't explored and looked for that letter, there was no way I could have progressed, because Hyrule Castle Town I could not leave to. Lon Ranch leads to nowhere. And then the Zora River entrance was blocked by the King of the Zora. So all of this is not even half of what I had to remember while going through this game. All of this is not even half of what I had to remember while going through this game, because there's a lot of other smaller, unimportant areas in this game than the main, like, cities and stuff like that I had to pay attention to and I had to know. So if we go to the next place, which is the Kokiri Forest, good old KF, right? We have... Oop, I did not mean to zoom into 200%. We have... What? Why is that? That looks atrocious. Let's see. K... Yeah. Okay. So up here, in the top left, we have the Lost Woods entrance. Up here, we have the Great Deku Tree. And then down here, we have the main entrance, right? Now, I did mention that the main entrance to the Kokiri Forest led us out here, right? This one we already know. This one led us, what? To there. And this one right here, this one led us to here. So while you're explaining this, you're gonna start making the chapter succeed? Great, 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 fantastic. Okay, so we know where two of the places, the only two real exits from the Kokiri Forest are located, right? That's great. Well, the Great Deku Tree is up here, and this led us to the bottom of the well. So, bottom of the well, which bottom of the well is normally located all the way over here in Kokiri Village. So yeah. And again, this isn't everything. In the Sacred Grove, the Forest Temple, which is normally, you know, located on the opposite side of the entrance, this Forest Temple here led us to the good old Water Temple. Now, I drew a line here to the bottom of the well, but the bottom of the well here actually led us to the Spirit Temple. I'll draw a little P because there's an SH one too. So that led us to the Spirit Temple. Which, in the Lost Woods, and I'm gonna draw the Lost Woods real quick, because the Lost Woods is a lot of fun. So if we look at the Lost Woods is basically a square. And in the Lost Woods, you've got a lot of ways out, but only, like, one real exit. And I'm just gonna draw it like this. So you've got the exit there, you've got the Goron City exit here, you've got the Zora Domain exit here, and then you've got the main entrance, and you got the Grove exit. Okay, so the main exit, or the exit that you go out every time you get lost. So this exit here leads you to Death Mountain Pass, or Death Mountain Trail. So, Death Mountain Trail. Now, this is actually Death Mountain Trail as if you were entering Goron City. Okay? So if I were entering Goron City, it would be here. Okay? Yeah, Master Quest stuff. I never actually played the original Master. Well, I played a little bit of it, but I never played it fully. But yeah, so what should have been the main entrance to to there, that's this part of Death Mountain Trail. Which Death Mountain Trail has another couple of exits. And I'm actually going to make that box a little bit bigger for this. The Death Mountain Trail itself has a couple of exits. You've got Death Mountain Trail. This exit in particular goes to... Oops, wrong one. This exit in particular, like I mentioned, goes to the Goron City. Right? Now, there's also an exit here, which goes to the Dodongo Caverns, and then an exit here, as well as a couple of exits up here, but we're just going to ignore those for right now. So this Dodongo Caverns led to the Fire Temple instead of the caverns. This right here led all the way to the Hyrule Castletown entrance area. So Hyrule Castletown entrance. Which means that, remember this? Remember how we got into Goron City? In order to go into Goron City, in order to just get to Goron City, we had to... So, in order to go into Goron City, what I had to do was I had to get to Hyrule Field. I had to go to the Lostwood entrance over here, and then I just had to get lost. So I had to go through an incorrect exit. That would then kick me out here to the Death Mountain Trail, which I then had to run all the way from here down to the bottom and go to the Hyrule Castletown entrance, which then I had to go through the Hyrule Castletown entrance to get into Darunia's bedroom. And that's just to go into Goron City. Because there are other ways to get in there. Like, I could have gone to the Death Mountain Crater. But the Death Mountain Crater, again, if I was an adult, I couldn't get there. I couldn't get there because I couldn't swim under the ice. Or through the ice here. Or go through the ice here at all. And I couldn't get there, like, if I wanted to as a kid until I had gotten the proper ways to swim. So... This whole map is just bonkers as to how I got anywhere. A lot of the times if I was going somewhere, I had to go 3 or 4 other places out of the way to get there. Like, I honestly enjoyed it. I honestly loved the Chaos Good Witch. It was great. Good job. 10 out of 10. Would ice trap again. Time to ramp up the fun gun. Okay, great. How many more ice traps should I expect? 10, 11, 20? But yeah, so this has been my overview of the map of Hyrule during this. So now I didn't include every temple. Because, again, if I go to the graveyard, like, the Graveyard Shadow Temple, so the Shadow Temple up here, this, led to Dodongo Caverns. Like that legitimately led to Dodongo Caverns. Make a map where the place you go is different depending on if you are enter. It is. It is, Aranikar. It already is. Don't worry, Aranikar. That's how that goes. So for example, if I were to go through the main entrance to Goron City, right? Which is this entrance right here. It doesn't take me to Goron City. It takes me to the Lost Woods. However, if I were to leave from inside Goron City, if I were to leave from inside Goron City, it would take me to the Zora Fountain. Wait, no, Good Witch. No, Good Witch. Yeah. So this exit, if I were to leave Goron City through the main entrance, it takes me to the Zora Fountain. However, if I tried to enter through the main entrance, it takes me to the Lost Woods. Same here. Like if I were to go through, like here, if I were to enter through there, it would take me to the Kokiri Forest. If I were to enter through the other side, so like Hyrule here, if I were to enter from Hyrule Field to go to Lake Hylia, it takes me to the Kokiri Forest. However, if I were to leave Lake Hylia through this entrance, it takes me to the Sacred Grove in the Lost Woods. This is the map of the randomizer I just completed. You're more used to graphs drawn in computer science than... Yeah, sorry. This is a cheap-ass Microsoft Paint map. But yeah, so also, if I were to leave or go through this exit here, if I'm going to Hyrule Castletown, it takes me to the Kokiri Village, right? However, if I were to leave there from Hyrule Castletown, like if I were to leave from Hyrule Castletown across that main entrance, that takes me... Hyrule Castletown... Ah, yes, the Hyrule Castletown main entrance would then take me to, God, where's the Death Mountain Trail. So yes. So it takes me to Death Mountain Trail here. This is borderline... What do you think this randomizer was, a rat car? Yeah, so basically backtracking is a nightmare. I had to remember all of the different entrances and how they took you, or like what direction they took you. There were a few, like I said, this Zora River from the Gerudo Valley. The Gerudo Valley River takes you into Lake Hylia, and if you were somehow able to get up the river up there, you'd probably be able to get to the valley itself. But sometimes to backtrack, you need to go in a loop. Yes, thank you, Aranikar. Thank you. That's exactly what happened. Like I said, in order to do anything with like the crater until I got the Bolero of Fire, I literally had to go. So in order to get here to this crater, and before I had the Bolero of Fire, I had to go, so I start here, right? I go out here, which, in that actuality, is right here. I then go from here to the Lost Woods, which then takes me out, roughly here. I then have to get lost in the Lost Woods in order for it to spit me out here. I then, yes, the paths are the same as Young and Old Link. That's the one saving grace. I then had to go down Death Mountain Trail, yada yada yada, to go out here, which then took me to the Hyrule Castletown entrance, which, and you know, you start around here. I gotta go down here to get to Goron City, and then I have to go through Goron City to go to the Lost Woods exit in Goron City, in order for the Lost Woods exit of Goron City to take me to the Death Mountain Crater. So, you see what I had to do here? You see what I had to do here? Like, Jesus Christ, this was like so much, like, okay, I'm gonna go this way, then it's gonna make me go this way, then I'm gonna go this way, then I'm gonna go this way. This is nothing. Oh, I don't doubt that. I'm not doubting that one bit, Good Witch. But yeah, so this right here, this was my insanity for the past couple of weeks. This whole map, and I'm gonna highlight this and put this on YouTube later. This whole map was my insanity for the past several weeks or a couple weeks. Past randomized after defeating. No. No, Aranicar. I would have to scrap all of my notes. I would have to scrap Goodwitch. Goodwitch, let's talk about this. Goodwitch, we can talk about this. We can talk about this, Goodwitch. Goodwitch, we can talk about this.